So the players of the week have been announced from the East and the West Coast, or conferences. And I think it's one of those like, well, duh. And you know how good you have to be in a week where players averaged 45 points per game and they still did not win Player of the Week. Victor Wembanyama had one of the greatest 3-game spells I can remember seeing. Like, I actually cannot remember being more excited after a 3-game start from anybody. He's averaging 33, 13, and 6 blocks per game. 6 blocks per game. He had a 9-block game. His 3-block game was an anomaly bad game. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, 36, 16, and 7. Giannis is at the peak of his powers right now. He's absolutely at the peak of his powers. The East is wide open this year. Like right now, top of the East is the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls. The Sixers are 2-0. The Knicks are 2-1. The Heat are 2-1. By the way, Norman Powell, they chose Brad Beal over Norman Powell. That looks like a horrifically awful decision. The Cavs 2-1. Like, it is wide open. The Cavs showed they are not that good in the playoffs. The Knicks showed they're not that good in the playoffs. The Celtics are awful for AJ. Or I don't even know. I don't even know what you can say for Cam Boozer. But Cam Boozer, Darren Peters. Just get top 3 in the draft and you've got a player that will go number 1 in most drafts. The Spurs are 3-0. They're top in the West with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Spurs have looked so good. But Wemby came off what is, in my opinion, this is the best regular season performance I've ever seen. And I remember Stephen Curry versus Oklahoma City in his MVP year. This is the best regular season. This is the best 1-game highlight tape in the history of basketball. And that includes sometimes where people have just gone nuclear and dropped 60. I don't care. He had 40 points? It doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter. Like this still, like moves like this one here, like should not be humanly possible. The one where he has on multiple occasions volleyball spiked someone, then ISO'd them, dribbled the ball up and ISO'd them for 3. Wemby is the favorite for MVP. I mean, I called it. Luka at 14%, I think is a bit low. I think Giannis, because I think the East is so wide open that Giannis is going to get a high seed. I think Giannis is actually going to get a high seed. But, I mean, people called me crazy. Where is it? This is before the season started. Victor Wembanyama will be the youngest MVP in NBA history. It was that long ago that I didn't even know how to figure out the lighting in this room. Because obviously I'm in a completely new place the last 3 weeks. I didn't even know how to figure out the lighting in this room. And let's see some of the comments on this one here. Fresh and all community can appreciate hoops. Wow. Last year, him taking 9 threes games building confidence. Daring statement, but you know what? If anyone could break the record, it's him. I didn't even realize. I thought people were like, oh, it could be too... It could be wrong. So Will Chamberlain has that record. No, Rose is 22. Wilt was a rookie. So was Wes Unseld. Rose is the youngest MVP. Someone said Jokic and it's not even close. But Wemby... Look, if Wemby stays healthy for the whole season, I don't see how he doesn't win MVP unless the Spurs are not very good. But Giannis... This is probably... this might be the MVP race. And the MVP race could come down to... who was maybe I hate when I say this, the Giannis is slowly becoming one of the most underrated or underappreciated players of all time. Giannis won 2 MVPs and is way better now than he won. Giannis suffers from voter fatigue from a half a decade ago. I've never seen anything like it. The man suffers from voter fatigue from 2020. It seems like, people are holding it against him because they thought LeBron was on track to win that MVP before the pandemic hit. So they're holding that against him. I actually don't know. I really, really don't know. But yeah, it's genuinely, it's one of those things where I'm like, he is so underappreciated. But at the end of the day, we have to appreciate greatness sometimes when it's happening. We have to appreciate greatness when it's happening, and we have to appreciate what this Wemby fella's doing right now. Like, it's gonna be annoying. It's gonna actually be annoying how much Giannis is going to get screwed over. But like at the same time, he has more MVPs than Kobe. He has more MVPs than KG, and I already have Giannis since 2021. I've had Giannis higher all time than Kevin Garnett. But at the same time, like, you've now got a situation where he might have the best season of his career, which I fully believe last season was the best season of his career. Like, I don't know how he can get that improved that much on last season. But at the same time, you've got this kid in San Antonio who's just another level. He was just another level player, and we might never see another season like this again. And just like I felt bad for Dwight Howard, who probably deserved to win the MVP in 2011. I mean, Giannis has already won 2. So look, if we have to voter fatigue Giannis out of this, it's the one time I'm not going to be that annoyed, because I think Giannis has been voter fatigued out of at least one MVP. I think Jokic got voter fatigued out of 2023. I think Giannis has been voter fatigued out of at least one. And Wemby, I think, it was the weird one. I'll say Wemby's depoy as a rookie. I don't understand how he didn't get depoy as a rookie. I genuinely don't. I think Wemby didn't get depoy as a rookie purely because they just didn't want to give it to a rookie. I genuinely think that was the reason why. I don't think it was anything to do with basketball. But Giannis might get voter fatigue out of another one. He actually might get voter fatigue out of another one just because of how good the Wemby is. And that's not a knock on Giannis. Giannis could be unbelievable. But if Wemby ends up, this is a realistic stat line of 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 4.5 blocks per game, with 6 stocks per game. And the Spurs end up as a 4th seed in the West. That is enough that he's as good as guaranteed the MVP. Especially because it is a narrative-based award. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys.